Hey you guys, what's up? It's Paul here, obviously, and I am coming at you with this video that you're probably get excited about. So this one's the first one where we're going to start looking at hormones and how they affect where you store body fat, etc. Because as you've gathered with the JLP and this JLP continuation, that it's got nothing to do with calories whatsoever. And it's all to do with almost getting your hormones back in balance with each other and getting healthy so to drop body fat. So again, hierarchy of fat loss, I showed you it again yesterday. I'm not going to recover and go over that again with the hierarchy thing, but you know the deal. And again, neither diet or nutrition matter if your hormones are out of sync. But here's the deal. We can look at all of this hormones thing time and time again. But for me, if you're fat, you're just fat. Okay? If you're in a position where you've got some muscle definition in some places, yet not others, or you think you're fairly comfortable with your body, then you don't really need to worry too much about hormones and specifically targeting certain hormones. A detox and a low refined carbohydrate diet will work for you. Okay? That'll get you fairly lean, but then we need to start hormoning. But there is a blueprint of faster fat loss. It's called biosignature. And it's to do with endocrinology, which is basically how the hormones work. Now, most people are in this vicious circle of a hormonal cascade. Now, what I mean by that is that all the hormones are somehow linked. So if one's out of sync, the rest of them are going to be out of sync. Okay? So for instance, and I should have a drawing or a model made up to show you this. If cortisol is high, that's the stress hormone, which I'm going to cover on hopefully Friday or over the weekend at some time. Cortisol is the one that's responsible for most of your belly fat. If that is high, then that means testosterone is low and growth hormone is low. If those two are low, then estrogen's high, which we're going to talk about today. If estrogen's high, then your thyroid hormone is affected. And if that's affected, your insulin and your blood sugar are all over the place. And again, this insulin and blood sugar thing, if that's constantly spiked, then that leads to a cortisol response as well. So you can see it's almost like a vicious circle. So estrogen, here's the deal. It's a hormone that's produced by the ovaries in females. When men have problems with estrogen, it's because their body's converting testosterone into estrogen via an enzyme called aromatase. That's how they end up with man boobs. Okay? A great way to tell whether people who are lean but who you think are using steroids are using steroids, the nipples will actually point down because they're aromatizing the extra testosterone that they're injecting into themselves. So it's produced by the ovaries in women. Now there's two types. There is natural estrogen, which you produce yourself and you need to metabolize. You don't necessarily need to detoxify that. And xenoestrogens, and these are sort of man-made estrogens. You've got soy, you've got plastics, so that's bottled water, but I still like bottled water more than tap water. Tap water is full of estrogen because of the amount of this pill. So if you're not on the hormonal pill, this is being blamed for a rise, the contraceptive pill, that's actually being blamed for the rise in man boobs because of the amount of estrogen that's in tap water due to the contraceptive pill. So if you're drinking tap water and you're on the contraceptive pill, I guarantee you store fat in your legs and your ass. And herbicides and pesticides are actually very estrogenic as well. There's other things in there as well, obviously toxins, etc. as well, but those are the main ones. And the body doesn't want estrogens floating around the body, whether they're natural or man-made. Okay? Doesn't want them floating around the vital organs. These are hormones that you need. Well, the natural ones are, but it doesn't want excess. Now, what usually happens is these things called sex hormone-binding globulins are released by the liver and actually go and deal with all this excess estrogen and help you excrete them or send them where they need to go. Okay? And in the form of xenoestrogens, it probably should be trying to get rid of them. Yeah? I should have put lager. Lager is estrogenic as well, and yeast. But there's a lot of things that can be estrogenic. I don't really need to go over them too much because if you're following this nutrition plan, those things aren't in there. Okay? So, again, the sex hormone binding globulins are produced by the liver. And if the liver's overworked, or it's stressed, or it's just not working properly because it's had some damage done to it by you putting shit in your body and stressing your liver out, then your body either can't produce enough sex hormone binding globulins or it produces deficient ones, which basically means that they can't do their job. So what it does is it needs to send this excess estrogen somewhere, and it just so happens that the lower body is receptive to excess estrogen. And it's down to what's called alpha-2 receptors. Alpha-2 receptors basically pretty much block your body from using fat as energy. Okay? It blocks the fat cells pretty much from releasing body fat in in layman's terms. When you burn body fat, you stimulate the fat to be released from the cell. And that can pretty much only be done through intense exercise anyway, and it's sent to the muscles via the bloodstream to be used as energy, okay? Spinning, I must mention this, spinning. You'll notice that a lot of spinning instructors actually have fat legs and a fat ass. If you spin regularly at high speeds and low intensity and low resistance, if you've ever done spinning, then your body will actually, you'll notice that your legs get quite tired even when you're just pedaling with hardly any resistance on. Now that's like pedaling downhill. Your legs shouldn't get tired. So what happens is your legs are actually fooled into thinking they're tired because things called calcium plates in the legs. And this is the feeling that most people think is lactic acid, and it's not. It's actually calcium plates. They get tired. Now what happens then is your body needs an instant source of fuel, so it'll start to store fat inside the muscle. It's called intramuscular fat, funnily enough, okay? So I wanted to mention spinning. Spinning isn't good if you've got fat legs. Now, some strategies we're using to deal with estrogen on this program. Number one, we're detoxing. So we're giving the liver a chance to do what it's meant to do. So we're taking out all the foods that stress the liver and the digestive system. Next up, we're using green veggies and a greens drink. Here's why. Well, first up, the more alkaline your body is, the easier it is to burn fat, and the healthier you are. But green vegetables, specifically watercress, spinach, and broccoli, have in them an indole called indole 3-carbinol. Now, this indole 3-carbinol actually binds to estrogen and helps you excrete, especially the excess man-made estrogens. It can also help to metabolize from the fat the excess the excess natural estrogen as well. So the drink and the veg are for that. Next up, 3 meals a day and fasting. There's a reason for this, okay? Because every time you eat, you stress your digestive system, okay? Your digestive system and your brain are the two areas in your body that use the most energy, yeah? So if we're eating 6 meals a day or more, then that's actually stressing the digestive system and the liver 6 times, which is quite a lot. If it's just 3 times when you're hungry, then that's much better. Yeah, it's like saying, okay, I want you to do this workout 6 times. I want you to do it every 2 to 3 hours. Or just do this workout 3 times a day whenever you feel like it. Yeah? I know which one I'd rather be doing. So to take away stress from the digestive system and digestive tract and the liver, and the fasting does the same. Not putting stuff in your body all the time with the fast actually helps your liver do what it's meant to do, which is why you'll sometimes feel really thirsty. Green tea, great for detoxifying estrogen, because the HCGC, I always get that one wrong, help to bypass the receptors. So these alpha-2 receptors, the green tea helps the fat to bypass these receptors. DIM and calcium D-glucarate. DIM is short for a really long word that I can't pronounce. But DIM, again, helps to detoxify estrogens. But it also helps protect the liver from herbicides and pesticides. So it's great for helping the liver and getting rid of body fat. Calcium D-glucarate has actually nothing to do with calcium. It's a source of glucuric acid. Now, glucuric acid helps the digestive tract repair and also just helps it out. But it really helps to detox the foreign estrogens, so the man-made estrogens or the xenoestrogens. Really good for that. Probiotic, again, helps the gut flora, so your digestion's better and your immune system's better. Steady state training is actually useful for you guys, but only if it's done after intense exercise. You'll have seen on some of the GLP where I said, okay, do 10 rounds of 30 burpees, then walk for 25 minutes. What we're doing there is we're stimulating the fat out of the stores, out of the fat stores or out of the cell to put it in the bloodstream, okay? Then sometimes you can transport it via the body to be used as energy. However, because your fat cells in your lower body, they like to hold on to fat, if you're an estrogen type, then sometimes the triglycerides or the fat won't get to where they need to go to because of these receptors, okay? So we need to get it out, and then we need to use the aerobic exercise to oxygenate the blood, so we send these triglycerides to be used. Okay, that's it on estrogen. Quite in-depth. I think a lot of people could do with this information. But next up is love handle fat, which was actually very simple and the easiest one to work with. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.